Well, hello, and welcome back to another episode of Dookie Forge, where we are still trying to climb out of the toilet of society, just to see the light of day one more time. Hopefully. In today's episode, we are going to be doing another different project in the attempt to learn some more, do some more things that I haven't done before, and, well, just do some cool stuff. And that would entail this piece of 3/8 inch round rod. The plan is to convert that into a marshmallow poker, marshmallow roaster. And I hate the store-bought ones because they're too short and stupid. So I wanted to make some. And that'll entail a few things that I haven't really done before. Mainly on this side, I don't know if you can see, but I have it marked out. This side's going to be where the fork is. I have 2 inches here. Then there's going to be a shoulder. Then it's going to taper all the way back up to the handle area, which is just going to be this to here. And then the last 3 inches is going to be a tail. That's going to be a little like little swoop-de-doop so that you can hang it up and all that stuff. So we're going to cut this down to 35 inches in length. Then probably just do the tail right away. Just finish the tail and swoop-de-doop it over, because essentially what's going to take a while is tapering this whole length down to the shoulder before the fork. So the fork we're going to do last. So that is what we're going to do. I'm going to cut it to length, and so tapering it is going to take a little while, mainly because it's such a long section, and I can only heat sections at a time in the Devil Forge. So, guess the first step is just cut it to length. So we just cut this thing to length. Let's get this hacksaw out of here. Next thing I want to do is I just want to make sure I have some markings on it that I can see after it's put in the after I heat up the steel. So I'm just going to put a few little chisel marks around. Not too big, but hopefully big enough that I can see where things are supposed to be. So this is where the handle is going to be, right here. So I should be able to see those marks. Next thing up, I'm debating whether I want to do the tail first and just taper this out. Might as well just do the tail, just to get my muscle bloods flowing. It's the less important side. So I'm gonna fire up the forge and get to working. Oh, I also got the most expensive hammer from Harbor Freight. It is the 99-pound solid tungsten carbide hammer by Harbor Freight, and it's the best hammer you can get. It's 3 pounds, feels like 3 pounds, but when you hit, it's like 2,000 pounds. So it almost replaces a power hammer. Anyway, I'm going to be using this a little bit just to build up my strength with a heavier hammer. And I'm going to drop everything. So I'll see you. We'll work on the tail next. So I am debating what I want to do because in my mind, I haven't 100% decided on like the design other than just the general idea. So right now I have the tail square tapered out and it's looking pretty good, nice and even from where the handle starts right here, roughly, right here, and it goes out there. Looking pretty good. But I'm debating whether or not to round this up, or I think it would look nice with a round end, and then maybe if I leave the rest of the taper on the long side square, and then I could twist it, so then I could have like a twist from here down, and maybe even in the handle I could do maybe I don't know, a light twist in the handle area, and then just have this nice and smooth and round, and have a nice little area to hang it. I think that would look nice, something like that. Maybe even I'll make the whole thing hexagonalize the words, and then twist it and figure something out. Well, I was just about to start the bend for the main curly Q at the tail end of the marshmallow cooker, and I ran out of propane. Whoa. And this propane bottle has lasted quite a long time. This is actually the first time I've ever used a 30-pound propane tank, so the one size up from the one I was using. It's lasted, I don't know, a month and a half, that little guy. Now, that being said, I've only been running this at like 1 or 2 PSI, so it should be running for the most part for 90% of its use. So it's really efficient. And I've made a lot of stuff with this so far, and a lot of experimentation. So I'm happy about that. But I'm unhappy that I ran out of propane. So I gotta go see if propane is open, go get some propane, probably go grocery shopping, maybe hopefully get back in time so that we can finish this project. Well, we're back in a flash with our buttocks clenched and ready to go, full of propane again. Yeah. Well, just finished up the Curly QE thing, cooled it down so that I can hold it and stuff. But overall, I think it came out pretty good. you know, there's always, you could always look at it and be like, ah, I should tweak this or I should tweak that. But I think, if you can see that, I think that thing came out pretty good. This tail is a little long, so I could like wrap it around more maybe, but I'm cool with just leaving it like that. I plan on making more of these, so I'll be experimenting with the tail a little bit as we go anyway. So, now that this is cooled down, we are going to start to work on the, so this is going to be where the handle roughly is. Okay, so we are going to work on the shoulder for the, where the forks are going to come from, which is this section. And then from here, all the way back to, it's still hot up there, all the way back to roughly around here, there's the end, is going to be the taper. And we'll figure out the rest from there. Something exciting is I am going to use the guillotine tool for the first time, I guess, on a real project, and to put in that shoulder, because I think it's perfect for it, and it'll put in a nice shoulder. Off camera, I ended up welding the spacers on the top, right here and right here, welding them so that they wouldn't twist, but this outer plate is still removable. So all that stuff, it's a little bit tighter of a fit, but it'll loosen up. And then the bottom ones are just still loose because they're on the base plate. So I'm going to use this guy. some of you might be wondering, hey, Dookie, why didn't you just get square stock if you were going to square and octagonalize the whole thing? Well, that's where you just aren't quite intelligent enough to figure out that not planning ahead and putting a lot more effort into something than needs be is the Dookie way. So there. Didn't think it would go that way, did you? All right. Well, I just finished. It's hot in here. Imagine. I just finished the twisting, and check this bad mamma jamma out. It's like, oh, am I going one way? No, I'm going the other way. Oh, I'm going the other way. Bam, bam, bam. I think it looks pretty good. The biggest issue I'm running into is actually just trying to make this thing straight. It's fairly close, but it is off pretty significantly. So I'm going to continue tippy-tapping and trying to straighten this thing out a little bit. But the next step is we are going to be slicing with the hacksaw down the middle. Oh, I'm yawning. Slicing with the hacksaw down the middle, and then splaying these out, making forks out of them, and that'll be the last step. So that's awesome. I'm going to tippy tap on this thing on as big of a flat surface as I can find. I think my metal metal cart is fairly flat, so I'm going to tippy tap on these, and unfortunately I don't have like a rawhide mallet or anything, and I'm struggling so much. I'm just doing it cold, so you know, we'll see. Maybe I should heat it up and do that, but I can only heat up such small sections at a time that trying to get this long piece actually smooth, it doesn't actually. I can't seem to get it. Even if I heat it up, it moves easier, but I can't seem to get it straight that way either. So maybe there's something, if anybody knows how to easily straighten like long pieces like this, let me know. man, this stinks. So, well, it's about to fall off anyway, but, so, a little bit of a mistake. I guess I was working the neck a little bit too cold. And basically it's half ripped off, if you can see it, unfortunately. So, in order to fix it, either I can try to just break it off and forge weld those two pieces back together, which theoretically I know I can do. Or I can just take the welder and just glob some stuff on there, grind it back down, and then get back to reworking it. I really got to figure out, because I've had this issue a few times, and I thought, I keep thinking I'm working on it hot enough, but maybe I'm not. But yeah, so needless to say, it's kind of a bummer. I'm tired. So, some good news and some, mediocre news. Good news, I finished it. And what I did to fix the thing is I asked the old man to come on out here and use his welder. I don't use his welder because it's too fancy and too nice for me to use. Eventually I want to get my own welder, but I'll just mess it up. So I asked the old man to come on out here and weld this thing up for me so that I could finish forging it. So that is how I finished it. So that's good news. Bad news is there's a little bit janky with it, as usual, but the tines aren't quite exactly the same length. They're pretty close, but not quite. Obviously, they aren't the same shape. You can see that. I really like how the twist came out. I think that looks great, and I like how this came out. I think this is just a little long, but overall it looks all right. So what I have, so I'm a little bummed out about the, I'm yawning. I'm a little bummed out about breaking that neck. I got to figure out, I think it's just because I've been running into that particular issue over and over, and I've just got to figure it out, because it seems like obviously it's bending too much because it starts to crack, and it's bending while it's cold. But it's almost like I shouldn't make the shoulder so deep because it's bending from like hammer blows. Like when I'm hitting this area, this end was bending just from the vibrations and going through. Or when I'm hitting here, this end was bending still, even though it was just warm or just cold. So I gotta, I'm yawning so much. I gotta figure that out. Practice more, obviously. I plan on making a couple more of these. And hopefully I kind of figure some things out by, after 2 or 3 of these, 3 or 4. I will say the tapering of the length of the thing sucks. Without doing it by hand, that long of a piece, it's not tapered enough. It's and it's just a lot. It is a lot. It's a lot to do by hand. Even I was using the 3-pound hammer and it was moving a lot faster than with the 2-pound hammer. But whew, it is a lot to taper. So I need to get better at that. Obviously, I don't have any tools to speed that part up, so I'm just going to have to still do it by hand. But I'll just get a little bit better at it overall. Overall, I'm fairly pleased with it. What I have left to do is wire brush it, get rid of as much rust as I can. Unfortunately, I don't have a wire wheel, a motorized wire wheel to really clean it up. Otherwise, I would use that and get all the rust off. But I'm going to just hand brush it, get it as clean as possible, then put a thin linseed oil, raw linseed oil finish on it, and we will call it done. So I'll see you then. Well, it is the end of this video. I have mixed feelings about it. I just did the finish with a raw linseed oil, and it looks pretty good. It'll take a little while to cure because it's raw linseed oil, but I'm going to bring it inside and let it cure. But I feel, I have mixed feelings about it. I like some things. I like the twist. I like that it's finished and I was able to, finish it. That's a plus. So I'm about 50% on it. I'm about 50, maybe 60%. I think there's things that can improve. The biggest issue was just tapering that whole length. It just is so, I don't know if maybe I just need to, build up my strength. It's not even a strength thing. It just takes so long. So, other than that, I think it went well. I'll try to take some nice photos of it inside. And but this is the end. It's the end of this episode. Like and subscribe. Am I supposed to say that? If you made it to the end, that would be cool if you did. But I will see you next time.